Welcome to Talking Giants player profiles and projections. And today we have outside linebacker, edge, Lorenzo Carter, 6'5", 250 pounds, 25 years old, coming off of a season-ending Achilles tear that he suffered week 5 versus the Dallas Cowboys. After looking like a solid player to start the season. In 5 games he was playing the large majority of the snaps. He had 15 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, a sack. So not eye-popping numbers. But the film told a different story than that, where it's like, is Lorenzo like an out there dominating player? No, but it's like, he's a good edge player, and he's the best at the time, the best they had. And honestly, I think he's still the best edge player going into the season. I do think he's going to be better than Azeez Ojulari to start. Justin, how do you feel about Lorenzo? We haven't really seen him at all. Week 1 will probably be the first time unless they play him in this Patriots game a little bit. How do you feel about Lorenzo Carter going into the last year of his contract?
Bad golf swing. Did you see the golf swing?
I didn't see anything. Weekend? I had to watch the freaking Browns broadcast, which was really bad. But anyways,
I hopefully clipped that entire thing, so maybe I'll post Lorenzo Carter's goal. It was bad. It was like, dude, I don't think he's ever picked up a golf club before.
Yeah, what do I think like him even more now.
You like him even more. There you go. What do I think about Lorenzo Carter? I thought before he got hurt, he was really, really cementing in that he was edge rusher number 1, and you just look at, I say this all the time, you look at the breakdown of the snaps that he was playing. He was getting like 80 to 90% of the snaps at
game
edge.
Game 1, 98%. Game 2, 98%. Game 3, 65%, but remember, that was the blowout versus San Fran.
Yes, and O'Shane played a lot
and
that
then
game.
Game 4, 81%, and then, he got hurt in the 5th game of the season.
So I think that he was definitely a beneficiary of getting a lot of playing time, in terms of why I feel like we thought that his performance was well, because I am a believer. This is take away from spreadsheet analytics, Justin, for a second. I do really feel there is a value of edge rushers, pass rushers, etc., getting to know their opponents, getting to know their tackles, getting a feel for the game. Michael Strahan and John Runyon talked about all the time how it's a dance, and you got to get to know your partner. And if you get out there and you get those physical reps, as the game goes on, you know your opponent, so therefore you can attack your opponent better and better. And I think Lorenzo Carter was the beneficiary of that last year, and that's not a bad thing. I'm glad he got that opportunity because, once again, another guy in Patrick Graham's system that was on pace to have a career year, and I would consider that 4-game stretch of which we saw Lorenzo Carter fully healthy, those were the best 4 games of his career in terms of his impact on the football field. His pass rushing production was nothing crazy. Like, you look at the pressures and you look at the QB hits and obviously only 1 sack. It wasn't anything crazy, and it really wasn't anything different from, I think, the rate at which he was doing the first 3 years of his career.
No, it was very similar, to be honest.
It was very similar. If anything, because he was playing more snaps, the rates might have been a little bit less, but his impact, you felt his impact on the field, especially in the run game, and just as a guy who sets that edge. He is really important for this football team this year. I think he's not only, the best edge rusher in the room, I think he is also the most important edge rusher because of the versatility that he brings. Before it was cool, Bobby Skinner, before it was cool for these edge rushers to line up at inside linebacker, Lorenzo Carter was doing that against Chicago a couple times last year. So there you go.
Bam. So you bring up versatility, and that's a big thing for just Giants edge rushers in general, and that's a big part of the Azeez Ojulari pick. And, Azeez, I think, probably will be better in coverage pretty early on. We'll see. As a pass rusher, you probably give Lorenzo maybe the edge day 1, but, Azeez, we're expecting to get better. Here's what I will say. Lorenzo Carter is the flat-out best edge defender or run defender on this team.
Yep.
That is not debatable. That's where you notice him the most, and it's not because he's making a bunch of tackles or racking up 3 tackles for a loss per game. It is he sets that edge beautifully. It's a thing of beauty. Setting the edge is something beautiful, and on a Giants team that probably is pretty bad at it, to be honest. O'Shane looked bad at it. Azeez, I don't know how he's gonna do. Ifedi, he didn't do anything special so far that we've seen. This edge room might be bad at setting the edge, and why we might see a little more 3 defensive lineman sets again this season. But Lorenzo, and that's why he played 98% of the snaps, because you can play him in every single situation, and the one that gets forgotten is that run defending setting the edge. That gets forgotten on edge players, and I'm guilty of it too. I like O'Shane Ximines because of the pass rush ability. But it's okay, but you know what? if a fullback comes up to him, is he gonna, is that fullback gonna spring the play for a 30-yard gain, or is O'Shane gonna, be able to spill it or play the outside gap or read it and diagnose it? So, like, he is the flat out best run defender in this edge group, and like I said, I don't think it's debatable at all.
We want Aziz Ojo. I almost said Aziz Ansari. That was bad. We want Aziz Ojulari to utilize the bull rush a little bit more and get strong. And I think one of the things that Lorenzo Carter has developed these past couple years is we viewed him, I think, to start as this situational pass rusher. He's a strong dude now. He is strong. I think he has gotten a lot stronger.
It's the strength of his pass rushing, no pun intended.
Yeah, as the years have gone on, where that bull rush, and I think is it a stem move? Is that the correct way to say it? Where, not necessarily he's bull rushing with two hands, but Lorenzo Carter does a good job of having one hand. If you're rushing on the right side, then you have your left hand and that's straightened out, and you have an offensive lineman straightened out. Meanwhile, your other hand is used to get free from another guy. I feel like that's like his best move. So he doesn't have like this wider range of pass rushing moves, but he's strong and he is a great athlete, and he has that bull rush to kind of back everything up. So even as a run defender, that stem move works too, because it gets separation from that offensive lineman, and then it works as a pass rusher as well. Oh boy, yes. Oh, Bobby Skinner sneezing show. It's a shame the camera's on me. You heard it for a second there, folks.
So speaking of what you're talking about is pass rushing, I agree with 100%. Does he have the speed and the ability to bend the edge to be like that type of guy, like Aziz Ojulari? I don't think he does. But with that strength, with that ability like to stab and rip and having some solid moves, he has enough speed, enough ability to bend the edge to pair with that strength to give him some pass rushing ability. And you look at the 1 sack and the 4 QB hits, and they aren't great. But it's like, remember Leonard Williams' sack versus Pittsburgh and Dexter Lawrence's sack versus Pittsburgh, week 1? Those were Lorenzo Carter wins. Lorenzo Carter was setting up the play to force, a big bend in the pocket and keep contained. So, like, he does have some pass rush ability. I don't ever view him as like, wow, we got this really good pass rush on Lorenzo Carter. I really just think his greatest key is versatility and his run defense. In coverage, he's adequate, but it's just that versatility matters so much for this Giants defense, and that's why they like him and want to play him a ton. Yeah.
12 coverage snaps, 10 to 12 coverage snaps he would average kind of per game, which was crazy to me. I looked it up on the PFF. They have the snap counts of where everybody lines up and what exactly they're doing in terms of run reps, pass reps, and etc. And I was really surprised to see, because that's a decent chunk. If you're getting 60 to 70 snaps a game, which is a lot. I mean, I'll just keep it at 60. If you're getting 60 snaps a game, which is the majority of the reps, and you're getting 10 coverage snaps, that is a decent chunk of a game. So it's not like you're just getting 1 or 2 here or there. And he does that well. And the fact that we're now pairing him with Aziz, who also can have that versatility, that is certainly a good thing. Bobby Skinner, here's something I want to ask you. Now that we have all the edge rushers in the world that can line up at interior linebacker, Trent Harris has been doing it. Carter Coughlin's been doing it. Cam Brown just did it for a hot sec, even though he's primarily a special teams player. We have all these edge rushers that can line up an inside linebacker, but I still feel like Lorenzo Carter is best suited because of how good he is in the run and how strong he is. I still feel like Lorenzo Carter is best suited to do that, like next to Blake Martinez, let's say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to see him do that more this year? Or are you saying leave Lorenzo where he is at edge and let's just use Tay and let's use Carter Coughlin in that role?
Leave Lorenzo because of that ability to set the edge.
Sure.
To me, it's as simple as that. Like, leave him there because of that ability to set the edge. Because then who's setting the edge? Now, again, it doesn't mean you just don't give him any reps. Like, versatility is key, and giving the defense or the offense different looks and trying to keep them from what's expected. But it's just I don't view him as a threat from that spot. He's not a good pass rusher from that spot if you're gonna like bring him into blitz or anything like that. Like, it's not a strength. If anything, it plays against him because his strength is his strength, which is better out on the edge. He's not gonna read and react the way a Carter Coughlin or Tay Crowder would. So, okay. And it's like, and I honestly, Reggie Ragland might be like the inside linebacker version of Lorenzo Carter anyway. So just give those reps to Reggie Ragland.
There you go.
Where it's like Ragland is like, yeah, sometimes he looks good out on the edge better than he does, as a stack inside linebacker.
Is this a contract year for Zoe, or was he taking?
Yep.
He was. 2018?
Third round pick, 4-year deal. This is year 4.
Wow. So what are we expecting contract year? What would we like to see projection-wise, sack-wise out of Lorenzo Carter?
So you have 4 sacks his rookie year, 4.5 his second year, 1 this past year. I think the 4.5 numbers is a fit. Like, I don't think he's going to ever surpass that. You even go look back at Georgia. Like, he was never putting up a ton of sacks. I think 4.5 is the right number. What I do want to see is the tackles for loss at 7 and 6 bump up to 10.
Yep.
Maybe have a few more QB hits. But just the sack number, I think it's fine to expect like 4.5.
I want 6. I want at least 6.
That would be fun. That would be nice.
I'm not expecting 10, but I'm expecting 6 to 7.5. That's my number.
It's crazy to, like, you know, these Gellin draft picks are entering their last year of their deal, which is, you know, time flies. All right, anything else on Lorenzo Carter?
No. Root for the guys in blue and also root for the million Georgia Bulldogs we have.
Root for the guys in Georgia Bulldog Red. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Until then, let's go Dogs and Big Blue.